outside the residence of the former or the late NFP President Zanele ka-Magwaza-Msibi, who unfortunately passed on in the early hours of yesterday. So we are here outside at Ulundi. This is where she also grew up. She was known as a person who's been very charismatic and also led the splinter group from the IFP called the NFP from the year 2011 when she had a fallout with the IFP president at the time, Mr. Mangosuthu Buthelezi. People have already started to trickle in to pay their last respects to the residents or to the family of the late leader. With us are some of the members and leadership of the NFP. As you see in your visuals, is the former mayor of Nongoma, Mr. Mavundla, who's also joining us here. But with us is the Secretary-General of the NFP, Mr. Canaan Mdletshe, who's going to tell us about some of the activities that are expected, as perhaps the day of the funeral. Has it been arranged, or what are some of the arrangements so far?
At the moment, the day of the funeral has not been finalized. The family is still engaged. You'll remember that ka-Magwaza-Msibi was married, so the family of Msibi and ka-Magwaza are still meeting to discuss the arrangement. But we are hoping that during the course of the day or in the late hours of today, we will be informed formally and officially, which we will communicate with the public through you guys, the members of the media.
Magwaza-Msibi's death was untimely according to many of the people, but we know that she has been ill for some time. How devastating was her death to the party now?
As the organization, as you can imagine, we are extremely devastated. We are not expecting her to live so soon. I mean, she was only 59 years, so we're still expecting a lot from her as the leader of the organization. And we were really devastated. As you can see, people are coming in and out of her house, and some are crying because they still cannot contain themselves as they're still trying to digest what has happened. And it's tragic. It's really tragic. It's devastating. And we are hoping that out of all this tragedy and tears, the NFP will come out alive.
Tell us about some of the dignitaries who have already paid their tribute. We saw that early this morning there was Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Mr. Sihle Zikalala, as well as others such as his delegation.
No, definitely the Premier of the province, who is also the chairperson of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala, was here, accompanied by two MECs, MEC Jomosbia and MEC Mavimbela, and the DG of the province. As the National Freedom Party and the family, we are thankful to the Premier for paying respect to the President, and we did convey our message to the Premier to pass it to the President of the Republic, and expressing our gratitude as the organization, because yesterday you recall that the President did send the condolences to the NFP through the ANC, the Khutla, and we are grateful as the organization, and we did ask the Premier to pass our gratitude to the President of the Republic. And the NFP were humbled by the support we are getting from various political parties and various political leaders. It just shows that ka-Magwaza-Msibi was not only the NFP leader, but she was a people's person, because everyone who has been speaking about her shares a story or two about how compassionate she was, how patient she was about the development, and in particular the upliftment of women. So as the NFP were humbled by the support and the messages of condolences we are getting from all the corners of this country.
Tell us perhaps some of those messages. Where are they coming from? We also note that the former health minister Zwelini Mkhize has also sent his messages of condolences. Tell us about some of the leadership and also some dignitaries who have already done so.
Actually, leaders of all political parties have sent through their condolences, and in particular, yes, it's true that former health minister Dr. Zwelini Mkhize sent a very touching message, condolences to the NFP and to the ka-Magwaza-Msibi family, as well as MEC Nomsa Dube. She did send her condolences, and as the NFP, as I'm saying, we are humbled by the support we are getting from various political parties and leaders and other stakeholders, including the church, the traditional leaders. We are humbled, and we are hoping that going forward they will be with us until we give our president a decent send-off.
Now tell us about her role now in Ulundi and surrounding areas. We know that the area is still underdeveloped, but she did have a hand in ensuring that there is women emancipation as well as development and also the upliftment of the local communities here.
Certainly, ka-Magwaza-Msibi was very passionate about development and upliftment of women in particular. That's why if you can go in each and every house in Zululand, people will tell you a story or two about how ka-Magwaza-Msibi assisted them one way or the other, because to her, uplifting the poor, working for the poor was what she lived for until her last breath.
Okay, thanks a lot, sir.
Thanks so much.
There's the NFP Secretary-General Mr. Canaan Mdletshe, who's saying that ka-Magwaza-Msibi had a lot of influence especially in the areas of Lundi where she was born and grew up, and also being a member of the IFP at the time, joining or cutting her political teeth while she was still a teenager. And then she grew up in the ranks of the IFP, and then later on in 2011 she formed a splinter party from the IFP, the NFP, of which yesterday we got the news that she had passed on due to cardiac arrest.
All right.